One aspect of life which particularly needs a little bit of attention in this country is food, what we consume. In many ways, the body that we have constructed, see right now this building, the structural and architectural design may be wonderful, but if the material that they use to build this building is not good, still it will be a big problem. The design may be great. The design, Creator's design for this body is too fantastic. But the material you feed it also is important. What kind of material is this design made is something that we need to understand. Food is not a philosophy, this must be understood. Food is not a religion, food is not a morality. Food is about eating sensibly for this body that you have, for the design factors that are constituted in this. In this context, we want to look at food, okay? In the animal kingdom, we largely classify animals as herbivores and carnivores. Herbivorous animals are animals which eat vegetable matter, carnivore eats meat. If you look at the design factor of how these two creatures have been created, it's essentially different. Particularly the alimentary canal, that means from the lip to the anal outlet where the digestion happens in many different stages, the alimentary canal is distinctly different between a herbivore and a carnivore. Let's start with your teeth. In all the carnivorous animals, there are cutting teeth in the front, which are incisors, and there are not so well-developed molars, which are also like cutting teeth largely in the carnivorous animals, and they have two extra pair of teeth called canine. This is to tear the meat and eat. In nature, if you had to tear the meat and eat, you would need these extra teeth. I wanted to check, I know in Hollywood some people are growing it So, but in nature, if we had to eat meat, these two teeth would be very necessary. Okay, today you're making mincemeat out of it, sausage out of it and swallowing it like a pill, that's a different thing. So somehow nature did not give you this extra pair of teeth, and if you look at the the dental structure, you have incisors in the front, well-developed molars in the back. And if you look at your jaw movement, all the carnivores have only cutting action in their jaw movement. They are supposed to cut their food into smaller pieces and swallow. All the herbivores have cutting and grinding action. What do you have? You have cutting and grinding action. Why this design factor is, have you ever put some raw rice in your mouth? Uncooked rice? If you put uncooked rice in your mouth and wait for a minute, you will see the rice will turn sweet in your mouth because there is a certain enzyme called phthalate which converts carbohydrate into sugar right here. Or in other words, the digestive process for all the herbivores starts in the mouth region. Carnivores do not have this enzyme, so they need not chew their food, they have to just swallow. But herbivores are supposed to chew their food. You have the enzyme and you have the jaws to chew your food. And if you eat properly, we say 50% of the digestion should happen in your mouth. The preparatory part of the digestion should happen here, or in other words, your stomach is expecting half-digested food. But right now, we are eating in such a way that largely the stomach is getting not only undigested food but partially destroyed food. A kitchen means what? It's a place where we take good food, destroy it and then eat. Yes, largely destroy it in every possible way and then eat. The stomach region is expecting a certain partially digested food so that the enzyme should have mixed with the food before it goes in. But the nature of the food that we're eating today in today's world is largely that which doesn't need much chewing, you can just swallow. Okay, I see a lot of salads coming now, but that was not so some time ago. And if you look at the length of the alimentary canal, In all the herbivores, the length of the alimentary canal is approximately 5 to 6 times the length of its body. In all the carnivores, it's 3 times the length of their body. If you take a dog or a cat or a tiger, the length of the alimentary canal will be approximately 2.5 to 3 times the length of its body. In all the herbivores, it's 5 to 6 times. Do you know what's the length of your alimentary canal? No. It could be anywhere between 24 to 36 feet, depending upon your physical stature. So you have a herbivore's pipe. The inner pipe is that of a herbivore. Why this design is, meat travels through the system very slowly. Vegetable matter travels through the system very quickly. If you eat a fruit in your present system, which is a herbivorous system, if you eat a fruit, it will pass through your system in anywhere between 1.5 to 3 hours. If you eat a raw vegetable, it will take 12 to 15 hours to pass through the system. If you eat cooked vegetables, it will take 24 to 30 hours to pass through the system. If you eat cooked meat, it will take 48 to 50 hours to pass through the system. If you eat raw meat, it will take 70 to 72 hours to pass through the system. Suppose you keep a piece of meat here for the next 70 hours, what happens? Rots. In which season would it rot very badly? Summer. In your body, if it's hot and humid, rotting process happens much more rapidly. In your body, it's always summer. Whatever rots outside rots much faster inside. If you keep this in your system for 72 hours, what happens there, God knows. Well, you've given up raw meat largely. Cooked meat, if you keep it here for 50 hours, what happens? This also rots, maybe not as badly as raw meat, but this also rots. The same thing happens in your body much faster. If you keep a cooked vegetable here for 30 hours, what happens? Not much, but it could rot over a period of time. If you keep a raw vegetable here for 15 hours, what happens? Nothing at all. If you keep a fruit here for 3 hours, what happens? Nothing at all. That's the way it goes through the system. Rotting means just this, heavy bacterial activity. You're unnecessarily creating excessive bacterial activity in your stomach, and a whole lot of your energy goes in just quelling that revolution inside. There's a rebellion inside. Every day, a huge amount of your energy is spent to just put this down. This is one of the main reasons you and your doctor are sleeping 8 to 10 hours. Really. You change the way you eat, you will see the need for sleep will just come down dramatically. I'm not talking about the ethic or morality of eating, just the sense of eating. If you get a gasoline car and pump diesel into it, well, it may still go, but struggles at every point. The same with this. If you put that kind of food that this is designed for, this will go at optimum level. Just before I came here, the day before I came here, I was at Singapore for the Formula 1 races. I think it's coming to United States for the first time. I was at Singapore races and I was at the the Ferrari paddock, and I was at the garage, how they were doing. The oil company is providing them the best fuel that they can get because they also want to win, all right? But they're filtering this fuel 3 times over with fine filter, super fine filter and super fine filter. I just looked at this and said, okay, I wish… See, this is all it is. This is all a yogi is also trying to do, because he wants to be on the fast track. He's looking at the fuel that goes in carefully, that's all. If you want to be at optimum level, you have to see how you breathe, how you eat, how you sit, how you stand. You want to somehow live and go, all these things don't matter. You can eat whatever. Even if you eat garbage, you can still survive. People are surviving, isn't it? You can eat garbage and still survive, that's not the point. If survival is the question, eat whatever. When people came here, Wild West, they shot whatever was there and ate. That's okay, that was their survival. Now don't make that your eating culture. They ate a slab of meat, you eat a slab of meat. No, now you have choices, isn't it? Then they did not have choices, it was a question of survival. Don't think that's your culture. There is no culture about eating. There is only science of eating. What is suitable for this kind of design, that's what you consume.